Ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Switch is now in its 7th year, and in that time we have got thousands and thousands of games. Some of those games are better than others, but that doesn't stop the fact that we have legit got thousands of games. But it wasn't always this way. Looking back, it turns out the Switch only launched with just a few games. So today I thought it would be fun to go back and look at all the launch titles of the Nintendo Switch. My name is Robot Joe and I'm your host as always. Let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, like I said, the Nintendo Switch now has thousands of games, but it truly wasn't always that way. So let's take it back to the beginning of the Nintendo Switch. But before we do that, if you enjoy this kind of content, hit a like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram because we're building a really cool community. Let's get right into it. So the Nintendo Switch launched all the way back on March 3rd, 2017. And in that time, it has been a powerhouse in the video game industry. You can see I have the list of the games the Nintendo Switch launched with, and it turns out there was 5 retail games and 5 digital games. I did not have a Switch myself at launch, so I'm curious to know what the eShop was actually like back then. It probably wasn't much different than it is now, right? Let's just start going over these games. The first game is 1-2-Switch, and I always truly felt like this was something that should have just been included with the Switch. It was to showcase the wacky, whimsical side of the Switch and show the motion controls, but at $50, this is a super hard sell. And again, this isn't going to make you want to buy a console. It's not a bad game per se, but it definitely should have been free or maybe slimmed down in a free version of it. I guess it's a cool part of the Nintendo Switch history, but yeah, this was not a great game to launch a Switch with. We have Just Dance 2017. I don't know if I need to explain Just Dance, but a Switch launch title, you could have closed your eyes and picked any game out of the gaming stratosphere, and you probably would have picked something better than this title. I'm not sure who this was for. Who was gonna say, oh man, there's a new Nintendo console and they have Just Dance 2017? Sign me up. I'm headed up to the store right now. I truly, that one baffles me. Next, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And the crazy thing is technically, this is a Wii U game because it launched on the Wii U simultaneously as a Nintendo Switch. It may sound strange, but some people actually played the Wii U version that didn't have a Switch. I don't really need to explain Breath of the Wild. I've mentioned a bunch of previous times it changed everything for Nintendo, it changed Zelda, it changed open world gaming, and this is truly the reason why I eventually ended up getting my first Switch. I wasn't able to afford one right when it launched, but near the first year I was able to get one used at a pawn shop, and the very first games that I got was Mario Kart and Breath of the Wild. So yeah, this one makes sense. So they also have Skylanders Imaginators. I don't know much about Skylanders except it's a Spyro spinoff, I think, and I was looking for this game and I couldn't really find it on the eShop or anything. Look at somebody selling it right here, $409. I guess it's just to have one of the launch games and that's it, because I can't see this being like a good game or anything, and I know it had all these figures to go with it, but yeah man, pretty crazy. Super Bomberman R. If you're not a Bomberman fan, you're probably not gonna even want to play this. I think there's even Bomberman games now that are free on the eShop, and recently they just announced a second Bomberman game. I don't know if it's out yet or it's coming out. This is a very niche audience. Bomberman games are cool. Does it make sense for a launch title? I'm not really sure. I think it's okay as a launch title, but again, you could have just reached up into the stratosphere and you would have picked out something much better. You could have picked some Wii U games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about Bomberman, but I don't hate it and I don't love it. So that was the 5 retail games. Now let's get into the digital games. And again, I'm assuming you would just get these on the eShop. They would have been the only games available for purchase on the eShop. If you had a Switch day one, please tell me what the eShop looked like, or if you got any of these games. Truly, I would love to hear it. So we have I Am Setsuna. So this is still on the eShop now. I have no idea what this truly was. It looks like your standard RPG. Not bad graphics or anything. The description says, journey with Setsuna as she prepares to make the ultimate sacrifice and save the people of her land. A powerfully nostalgic experience blending a classical style of storytelling, battle system, and gameplay. Yeah, like I said, it just looks like your standard RPG. Nothing great, nothing to write home to. I guess you do need an RPG if you're going to launch a Nintendo console, but anything would have been better than this. I don't know though, maybe it was a good game. Maybe it was. We have something called Snipper Clips. So this looks like a wacky, whimsical game to showcase the ability of the Joy-Cons. And with this game right here, it kind of makes me feel like Nintendo didn't know which way they wanted to go with this console. Did they want it to be something serious, like your standard console just with great games? Or did they want to go the whimsical route like a Wii? It truly felt like they had no real direction at the launch of the Switch. Coming off the Wii U, they were just hoping anything would work. So they might have figured the Wii was so successful, maybe we need to do some more motion control stuff. And that's why we got this and 1-2 Switch. Because yeah, I've never heard anybody ever talk about this game. So we also got 2 Shovel Knight games, and this is where I would say they hit it right on the head. These games are both great games. We had Shovel Knight Treasure Trove and Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment. These games are both really good. So Shovel Knight Treasure Trove on the eShop is $40, but Spectre of Torment is only $10. I feel like this should have been a packaged deal, maybe $40 for both games, but that's just me kind of picking this apart right now. But yeah, Shovel Knight makes sense. I think that style of graphics and gameplay and just the whole indie feel, that fits the Switch as we know it now. Maybe at the beginning people weren't so sure about it, but yeah, I don't have a problem with Shovel Knight games. And then the last game we have right here, Fast RMX. And as you can see, there is no Mario Kart games, so there's no racing games, and that's kind of Nintendo's thing, right? I had to look up Fast RMX. I had no idea what it is, and it kind of looks like F-Zero, I guess, but I don't understand why we wouldn't just get F-Zero, even an old game, ported over. But maybe they were trying to launch a new IP, I have no idea. The game doesn't look bad, but it kind of doesn't look good either. Like, it's not a bad game, but it has kind of no soul or feel to it. It just looks like your standard generic racing game, I guess. I'm truly confused by this one because I just don't understand why you wouldn't get F-Zero. Unless, like I said, they were just trying to make a new IP, but this could have been left off as a launch title, and I don't think anybody would have realized there was no racing game at all. Because if you didn't buy this game probably day one, you probably had no reason to ever buy this game once Mario Kart got over, or all the other racing games that have made their appearance since. So, like I said, Fast RMX doesn't look bad, doesn't look good. So we also can see that Japan had different launch titles here. And they also had I Am Setsuna, but they got some other stuff. They also got Snipperclips, so they also got a wacky, whimsical kind of motion control game. But they got Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, and that's pretty cool. I would have much rather to get those than Fast RMX or whatever, but it is what it is. The Switch launched in March, and by June 1st, all these games had made an appearance. We had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we had Splatoon 2, so we got some pretty good stuff. Definitely Splatoon 2 or Mario Kart 8 would have been a huge game to have day one. But you can see again, then they went with ARMS, another game that kind of focused on the motion controls. You could see I almost felt like they were kind of betting on the motion control aspect of the Switch, but it turns out we were just happy to have a hybrid console that can be a home console or a handheld console. And nobody really gives a shit about the motion controls of the Switch. Did you get a Switch day one? Did you play any of these games? When did you eventually get a Switch? I would love to hear, so start a conversation below. Like I said, I didn't get my Switch till like a year after launch, but boy, once I got it, it's been by my side ever since. Remember, if you enjoy gaming news, gaming stories, and Nintendo Switch content, then you are in the right place. So hit a like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram so we can keep this community growing. You guys know me, my name is Robot Joe, and I'll see you with a new video soon. Peace out.